And we're live. I say this every time. Yeah. I feel like I say it every time. We're not live. There's actually nothing live about what we're doing.
We're alive?
We are alive. This is Adam.
This is Nathan.
And we're going to talk about some of the decks we're brewing.
Yes.
Before that, we didn't record anything last week.
Right.
Got missed. Because last Monday... it spaced my mind completely until I got the reminder text. I was getting my wisdom teeth removed.
Yeah.
It was a journey. I don't know if you've had your wisdom teeth removed.
No.
It was fine.
Yeah.
People get a little freaked out about it.
Did it knock you out?
Nope.
No?
What is it? They told me it would cost more. I'm like, I don't. Nope. I'm only paying, whatever.
Yeah.
They told me it would cost more, and they're like, I'm not gonna pay more. If this way of going about doing it is fine. Yeah, they just numb you.
Okay.
Right? Novocaine, whatever.
Oh, okay.
Novocaine, I think. I don't know drugs. Don't ask me. But yeah, it was fine around. It's just really, you get psyched out because I'm there for 5-10 minutes. The doctor shows up. He's like, all right, we're gonna start numbing you up. They shoot your mouth full of whatever the numbing agent is, and in less than 20 minutes, you're just everything. You can't feel a thing, right? You could drag your finger across your mouth, and you wouldn't feel anything. The way they tested to make sure I was numb is they have a screwdriver, quite literally, and they just poked your gums, and I didn't feel anything. And so numb me up. 20 minutes later, I'm numb, and it's weird because the doctor just showed up, or the dentist, he showed up in the room. It was the same guy that numbed me up. He's like, all right, started.
Okay.
And he's just like, open your mouth. And he comes at me with a spoon and a screwdriver and some pliers and just starts popping out teeth. Right? I'm open. What? My mouth is open. I'm laying on my back. And he just, grabs a little spoon to pry the tooth away from the other teeth. And he just starts cranking on it.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of pressure, right? But you don't feel a damn thing.
Yeah. What's going through your mind when he has his hands in your mouth?
It's just what the fuck? How did I get here? And I'm paying to have someone do this to me, right?
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And yeah, he just, I cannot get over the fact that he just used a spoon and pried my tooth away, and then he gripped it with pliers and yanked it out.
Wow. Comfortable enough?
Yeah. It took, it looks like it took a while, right? It took 20 minutes or more for him to get all these teeth out, and it's he's just, that's how they do it.
Because it's 4, right?
Yeah. I got all 4 of mine removed. I could have probably did it differently, but there's no point because
eventually, right? Huh. Yeah. I remember once as a child, I did get numbed up in my face. I'm pretty sure they stuffed my mouth with some gauze or something afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm sure it sounds like they took something of mine out that I'm just not even aware of.
Yeah.
So maybe I got a molar taken out already. Yeah. I just didn't know.
Yeah.
But that sounds terrifying.
Yeah, it was. And they were just having the most idle conversation, talking about absolutely just random stuff. They started talking. They started dissing other nurses. What is it? They were dissing some lady that's in insurance or in the collecting money side of things. She transferred from being a dentist, and they're she wasn't cutting it as a dentist, right? She couldn't hack it in dentistry.
No.
So they had to move her to something else, and I'm like, what is this? What is this conversation where they're just
she didn't make the tryout.
She didn't make it to varsity. Move her back down.
Dang, that's tough, man.
That's real tough. God.
How long until your face felt normal?
It still doesn't feel perfectly normal. It's still a little sore right now. I will say, I just noticed something. So the audio might change right about now. The microphone wasn't plugged all the way into the computer.
Oh.
So now we're using the correct microphone.
Now we're using the correct microphone.
This is why I should never set anything up.
You're fine.
But that's me.
That's a journey. I wouldn't call it a hero's journey, but it is a journey, nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, because they didn't hit me with the laughing gas or put me to sleep, whatever, I just drove myself home, right?
Oh, yeah, I was about to ask about that. Did somebody... your face was numb? You weren't tired?
Other than the fact... I was extremely exhausted.
Oh.
Because it was just like, wow. It was just a lot,
yeah,
right?
That happened. Oh, my gosh.
And... So, yeah, I had to drive over to my pharmacy, pick up my antibiotics and painkillers. I'm still taking the antibiotics, 10 days of antibiotics. Yeah.
Yeah. And hopefully you get that good insurance, too. So
yeah.
Nothing too crazy on your end. The dentist isn't too bad, but it can suck.
Yeah.
It can suck. Like, going in for cleanliness, whatever. Mm-hmm. Did you get a little judgment?
Oh, what is... Yeah. To keep my mouth open, right? They stick a little... my mom was immediately like, oh, they get you with the face guard that keeps your whole mouth open. Nope, it's just a little... piece of plastic is a little C, and they shove it in between, your teeth.
Oh.
And when they were going at my bottom teeth, at least the first one... I want to say I broke the thing. I was biting down so hard.
Whoa!
Yeah.
It was like that. Wow.
It was just wild.
I feel like in that situation I'd be like, all right, just get this over with. So I want to go limp. So it's like his face.
Yeah. Well, what is it? That was the other thing. It wasn't completely pain free, I will say.
Yeah.
On the left side of my face, on the left, bottom tooth, that one, he started cranking on it, and I'm like, hey, guy, this one hurts. And so he, shot me up again, and, we waited a little bit, and he went back to do it, and I'm sitting there, and he's cranking on it, and I could feel it, just, not enough to really hurt, but just enough to, if he tweaks this wrong, this is really gonna fucking hurt. And at that point, I just committed. I told myself, I can ask him to shoot me up 1,000,000 times.
Right.
It doesn't feel like it's doing anything. And man, he just cranked on that tooth. It didn't hurt a lot, but it was noticeable. And I probably could have asked, and he probably would have kept shooting me up until I stopped feeling it. And it wouldn't have cost me any extra, really? I don't think. But I just committed at that point. I'm like, I just want him to be out of my mouth. So
you got a grown man in your mouth, yeah.
I don't want him touching my teeth anymore. So just rip this one out.
Yeah. Sounds like a hell of a day.
It was a long day.
And then you went to work the next day?
And then I went to work all last week. Didn't even take a day. What can I say?
So talking was normal, it sucked to talk, or what, the day after?
So yeah, everything was sore. Everything, what is it? My bottom right, my top left are still sore. And it's kind of just been pulling like that. And yeah, talking wasn't fun. But I was so focused on actually working, and we physical job, so I'm not sitting at a desk or sitting and not doing anything. So I'm actively moving. I just put it out of my mind. But when I get home after those days at work, I'm sitting in my car, I just feel it all kind of everything rush back in. Yeah, this hurts.
Man, adulting sucks.
Yeah, it does.
I gotta I need to go in, since this is the first time I have insurance, I just need to do all those adult things for the first time. I just need to be put in a position where I need to kind of have the, I guess, like, ride back home for maybe some of that, right? Because I'm not sure, depending on how much that Laffy gas is, man, I might buy some of that. That sounds rough.
And
you're stronger than I am. That's why I say that.
Knowing me, it would take like 10 seconds. It's like $10, right? Like that's the like. Oh, it costs you $10 extra. It's like wonderful.
Wow. Yeah. So how much more are we talking?
Yeah. Exactly.
Dang. That. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
It was fine. It was so fine.
Did you have to go back for like a checkup or like a future?
They didn't schedule anything. They just said, if it bothers you, call us.
Okay. Good that that's over then.
Yep. Yeah. The stitches are still dissolving.
Unties tooth.
Yeah. Or. Yeah, they have fully dissolved. I just stuck my finger right in my mouth, just so everyone's clear on what's going on. Why there was that pause there. I was talking about my stitches, and I'm like, I actually don't feel them right now, and so I just stuck my finger all the way back there. Actually, yeah, there's nothing there, right? There's gum there.
Yeah.
Other than that, they're.
Oh, brushing your teeth this week. How was that?
I didn't.
No, I bet it would have sucked.
Because it was no sucking, no spitting, no like slurping, whatever.
That's so funny how you like go to the dentist to not brush your teeth.
Well, they told me to, and I'm like, they're like, brush your teeth, just be careful back there, and I'm like, fuck it, we ball, and I just haven't.
Yeah.
I just didn't. Was it like 2 days ago? I want to say I started brushing my teeth again.
I'd be so scared.
Yeah.
That pain.
It just didn't hurt, and yeah, it didn't hurt all but the one tooth, and the one tooth hurt for a very short amount of time. Yeah, like, God, he just like took a pair of pliers to my top right, because that's where he started. He just like. I just opened. He's like, "I'm here," and he grabbed like pliers or something and just started cranking on it.
Is he like one of the more experienced guys that you think? Like, did he look older?
He was the owner, right?
Oh, so okay, he's head honcho.
He's head honcho.
Okay, I'm okay with that. Even though he's like going at me like that. At least you got the best of the best in the building, right?
Yeah, ain't no one else I'd rather have cranking on my teeth than the doctor who owns the building, right?
He's doing something right.
Unless, he couldn't hack it. Sorry. Yeah, God.
Oh, that makes sense why he was talking about that. He probably had to, like, okay. That's funny. I thought it was just, like, coworker beef.
Yeah.
That's so funny. I would be stupid enough to say something to her on my way out. Like, hey. Your boss hates you.
Couldn't hack it in the oral whatever dentistry fee. You couldn't handle it in dentistry, so they just put you in admin and called it a day.
They put it in admin and called it a day. They made you a fucking Twitch mod for the.
Yeah, it was not an enjoyable experience, but it wasn't a bad experience.
That's a good ramble.
I mean, hey, if you need to get your wisdom teeth out, just do it.
Just do it, really.
Just do it. There's nothing to worry about.
Except fear.
All right, moving on.
Let's get into these. We both are kind of doing the same thing.
Yep. Or gotta go fast.
Only way to go.
Mono red meanies.
Mono red meanies. That's
what I'm doing over here.
I mean, yeah, I think yours is at least more to the point than mine.
Yeah.
Mine's just really mean because it's. I don't know. I'm taking my. I feel like.
I don't know.
Yeah.
we started talking, and I just like told him everything that I have going on over here, and I actually didn't let him get a word in.
Oh yeah. So basically,
so you go.
Yeah, I'm running Emodane, the Pyro Hammer. The whole shtick is that you're going to be doing damage to creatures, so that damage can also be dealt from your commander to each player. And yeah, it made Burn and Commander a little bit different, but better, I want to say, because it hit in the Eldraine set. So I heard a lot of people online talk about it made Burn and Commander viable. I don't know when Sulfin hit or what the Burn sphere kind of looked like in the community at that point. Was that in the Phyrexia All Will Be One set?
Yep.
Yeah.
Or it was in that block.
Block.
Yeah, I can't remember if it was March of the Machines or All Will Be One or
right. But yeah, I pulled it from I think a draft party we were doing, and I was just like, yeah, no, that's sick. She's a boss ass bitch.
So what does Emodane do specifically?
Emodane states, whenever an instant or sorcery spell you control that targets only a single creature deals damage to that creature, Emodane deals that much damage to each opponent.
Okay, and it is each opponent. So it's like you can't get away with like Blasphemous Act, right?
Right.
And just doing 13 damage to each creature and then having the excess damage splash over. But your lightning bolts at the start of the game, maybe, or middle of the game, targeting like mana dorks, those will start ticking up and doing damage, and it does it to everyone.
Mm-hmm. So it really makes you a meanie to everybody. Yeah. Is that group slug?
No. Well, yeah, because it's group slug because the commander's ability specifically states it hits everyone.
Yeah.
Everyone but you. It's actually it's towards the better half of group slug because in general most group slug, like Solfim, right? That's what I'm building over here. All of my abilities hit everyone. Or most of the abilities hit everyone. Even myself.
Burn.
And then I use Sulfim to break parity.
I see. So that's maybe why the Burn community was like maybe slightly better because it doesn't hit a lot of me, right? But I just have a lot of creatures with damage effects that a few that might do like tap to do a couple of ping damage here and there. But why I think it's a little bit more meta than Sulfim is because you're not targeting the players directly. You're targeting their creatures. Yeah. So you're just erasing the board state constantly. Mm-hmm. It looks like you're going to be stagnating the board, but you're really just doing that damage to everybody else. Which I think if you're going to be progressing the board in that way, you better progress a little bit faster. So not everybody's just sitting there all game bored.
Yeah, you're not only are you keeping the board clear so whatever creatures you do have on the ground can cross, get in the red zone,
right,
and kill your opponent. Any excess damage you do is just killing your opponents faster.
Mm-hmm. What is it? So like cards like Torbrand and stuff like that are going to be in there. Honestly, I think a lot of the other Burn commanders are just going to be in the deck naturally.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I feel like I have to be careful with those replacement effects.
Yeah.
I don't want to have too many because, I don't mind doing some math, but I'm not the biggest math whiz. I know I can mess that up somewhere along the line. I'm just going to keep it simple, stupid, and keep my damage pretty simplistic, I guess. I'm going to be making, hopefully, plenty of treasure tokens to keep the mana going so that I have all the spells in my hands from just drawing and discarding, I guess. I have yet to find a really good solution for drawing except for just draw and discard.
Yeah.
I think that's just the red mono thing to do.
I found an interesting card. It's part of my cut bait. So I don't know how long I'll have it, but what is it? Endless Atlas. It's a 2-mana artifact. You can pay to tap it. Draw a card as long as you control 3 of the same lands.
Endless Atlas?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm writing that one down. I like that.
I like it because it only benefits me.
Yeah.
I looked at a ton of group hug style
I gotta
card
use
draw. Yeah.
Scryfall, I just don't use it. I don't know why. I need to.
Yeah, Scryfall showed me a really interesting card. I have Crimson Wisps on here because it gives it 1 mana instant, gives a target creature haste and draws you a card. It makes the creature red. Whoopee-doo. But I saw, I cannot remember the name of it, but I was on Scryfall and I looked up instance that had the word haste in it in red. And there's a 1 mana instant that gave it gave a creature, or it gave a card haste. Or yeah, it gave a creature haste, and then it gave all creatures that share a color with it haste. 1 mana give your board haste, especially in like a mono color.
Yeah.
Right?
That's value, baby.
Yeah.
That's what you want. That's nuts. I like that.
Yeah.
Another concern I had with making the burn deck was doing enough damage, not just to a singular opponent, right? You got to do 120 damage in a 4-player game. Even though you're running the burn deck, and a lot of burn decks are just direct damage, I feel like it's a bit harder to do that, even with like those X spells.
Yeah, it's.
But
it feels very hard to do. That might be because I've never attempted it. Right. But yeah, it definitely feels like a big ask to deal 120 points of. Even, right, say you're only dealing half the damage to everyone, right, 20 points of damage.
Yeah.
Still have to do 60 points of damage, especially as the person doing it.
Which I guess that makes Imodane a little bit better for that reason, because he only had to do it to 1 to affect everybody, right?
Yeah.
A lot more consumable that way. I'm not sure about you, but I'm going to be basically relying on my commander 24/7. Mine has to be out for my deck to pretty much work, or else I'm just burning stuff pointlessly.
I'm trying not to do that.
That's fair.
I'm trying to find a lot of redundancy in the ways that I'm going about closing out the game.
That's fair. You want that?
Especially because the way I'm closing out the game is like killing everyone. And I'm relying on myself to do the heavy lifting, like most of the damage, right?
Yeah.
So, as far as my deck is concerned, Solfim is basically just an enchantment that's always available in the command zone. It's the real, that's what Solfim
pushes the deck.
Yeah. It's a 3 mana enchantment. I want to say, or 4 mana enchantment that sits in the graveyard that I can give indestructibility for 1 mana and 2 cards. 1 mana, 2 cards for life. Or I could just pay 3 mana and 2 cards, right? It's something that it's easy to accomplish, to just make it something that unless you have exile-based removal, you're not dealing with.
Right.
Or even board wipes don't. Yeah, you just need exile-based removal. Or
white is gonna be
or mono black, whatever. Toxic Deluge. Give it a ton of -X, -X, or -1/-1 counters, whatever.
Yeah.
I want it to be hard to deal with.
One thing that is going to be interesting to balance is going to be, because like I said, I'm sure that people are probably going to be running against me with interaction, so having creatures of my own to target maybe later mid game when I don't know, you have an Eldrazi sitting in front of you that has a destructible. I can't really. I could do the damage to it. It won't die, and then it'll still affect everybody. But then I'm getting like 15/15 at my face.
Yeah.
And that's just from one player.
Yeah.
When you become priority when everybody else is taking the damage, and then I don't know. You're doing that group slug thing.
Yeah, you're playing group slug, and people just want you off the table because it's not necessarily fun to play against.
Right.
We'll get into it because I'm trying to make it unfun for you to play the game. And it's like, yeah,
that's what mono red does.
It's like mono red and mono white. It's like mono red is like I kill you as fast as I can. Ooh, I kill you so hard. And mono white's like, ooh, you don't play the game. You really don't play the game.
with maybe like here's an elephant.
Yeah.
Like they give you like a little treat, but blue is really the no. You don't have anything.
Nah, you just pick it all back up.
Yeah, take it all back up.
Pick it all back up. Oh. That's my next deck. Mono blue. Shove everything back into it.
Oh god.
All I need is infinite mana and capsize, and I win the game.
I'm gonna scoop in front of that.
What is it? So, Solfem. So one of the things that I was thinking about really hard towards the end of this deck building, and that's why earlier you heard me mention Cut Bait, because it's a card that I know. It's a card that fits in the deck fine in big quotes, because it kind of synergizes with what's going on. But all I'm really doing is looking for a card that's better than it, to just replace it with. And maybe that card hasn't been printed yet, and maybe I'm just being a little like shithead about it and not wanting to run a card, and I want to see some other cards. Maybe I want to see these cards fail in the deck. I actually want to experience it to understand what's going on here. But yeah, Solfem, what is it? I was kind enough, I'll pull the mask down. I looked up Nathan's commander so he could tell you guys what was going on.
Yeah.
I did not look it up for myself.
Solfem's just nasty. Damage doubler.
So it's 2 red, 2. It's a 5/4 legendary creature, Phyrexian Horror. None of that mattered. Like, absolutely.
So cool, though.
Yeah, I love this card. And even the card that I got is the alternate art, the black and white alternate.
Yes.
It looks so good. If a source you control would deal non-combat damage to an opponent or a permanent an opponent controls, so not only regular damage, or not only against players, but my lightning bolt can now punch up, right? It deals double that damage to that player or permanent instead.
This could be so weird. Sorry.
And then I could pay 1 and 2 Phyrexian red to discard 2 cards and put an indestructible counter on Solfem.
Oh, an indestructible counter. It's physical counters. So it's not even just like until end of turn or something.
No, yeah, it's just
that's actually
they become indestructible.
That's nice. It's just gonna be weird. Like I was saying a little bit earlier, with running the other commanders in the deck, it's gonna be weird to not want to run Solfem or like
you should.
You
just should.
I probably really should, but I think that's why I want to run Imodane. I want a different play style.
Yeah.
It's just to mix it up.
But I think Solfem would go a long way in your deck because you're talking about dealing non-combat damage already, right?
Yeah.
So not only would Solfem allow whatever removal spell you cast to punch up, right?
Yeah.
And then allow for easier access to that overrun damage. God, that's so fucking wild. Holy shit. Because you say your opponent has a 4/4.
Yeah.
And you cast Lightning Bolt, targeting them. Now it deals 3 damage, but it's doubled, so it deals 6 damage. So then you take the overflow that you only got because it was 6. So now you have 2, that becomes 4 damage to your opponent from Imodane. But now you cast Lightning Bolt, targeting their Land of War Elves. They're 1/1. It deals 3 damage, but it's doubled, so it deals 6. So then you take now you deal 5 damage to everyone, but you still have Solfem out, so you deal 10 damage. Oh my god, that's rancid.
Oh my gosh. Someone's just gonna have to.
I didn't like that. Didn't like that one bit.
No?
Didn't like that. Because then you put Torbrand out there.
Yes.
Right? And that 6 damage becomes 8 damage, and then there's 7 overflow damage, then it's 14 damage. Oh my god.
It gets real nasty real fast.
And since Imodane is a red source, it gets 14 damage, plus 2 it becomes 16 damage. Because Torbrand again.
And that's before combat. Or after, depending on how you
That's just casting a lightning bolt.
Yeah, that's just I guess that could be on anybody's turn, right?
Right. You have 3 cards out.
Yeah.
And you cast a 1 mana spell and deal 46 points of damage. Oh my god.
Maybe we didn't calculate quite how.
I feel ill.
I feel sick.
That's just not fun to think about. Yeah.
Like the perfect hand to. What would be that perfect hand?
It'd be weird because it'd be like ramp and those cards.
Yeah.
Because all of those cards are 4-mana spells, so you're gonna have to play them, right? Imodane's 4, Solfim's 4, Torbrand's 4, so like Imodane and Solfim will be the easiest to get out because they're 2 red and 2, so like you can do that on.
Just throw Jeweled Lotus in the deck. Just throw a Jeweled Lotus in the deck.
Just throw a Jeweled Lotus in the deck.
Just throw a Jeweled Lotus. Yeah, I mean, come on. I've seen your lands.
Yeah,
I've seen your lands.
Oh yeah, it's totally doable. But God, I hate thinking about Jeweled Lotus because it is just such a fucking. It's a card.
Yeah,
it's such a card.
Lotus Petal's colorless.
Yep, Lotus Petal is 0. 0 mana for a 0. Yeah, sacrifice a gain 1. Well, you could do it off of like. You could do it. You could start casting these cards on turn 2 with like an Ancient Tomb, and a Mountain and a Lotus Petal, or any artifact for any cheap artifact, right?
That wouldn't be worth it. I thought for a second like Urza's Incubator, but that's not. Yeah. You don't need a discount in that deck. One of the. Well, yeah. Yeah.
Well, what were you gonna say?
I was just gonna spit one of the odd facts that was it. What was that? Yeah. I don't know. Sorry.
Just interrupt me.
Oh yeah. Just interrupt.
Just wanted to get in there and interrupt me. So one of the things that I was really worried about in the entire construction of my deck was card draw and ramp.
Yeah.
That's why I'm looking at cards like Endless Atlas to draw me cards, because.
But treasures.
Well, yeah, and that's where I get like ramp was fine, but card draw is like so slim.
Yeah, it really slows it down.
That being said, I feel like every set that's come out in the past 4 years, or not 4 years, like 2 years, has had a 2 mana. Like 1 red, 1 instant or sorcery that you can discard a card and draw 2. So, like, density is getting there.
I saw an enchantment in red. You might know the card. It's discard 1, draw 3. It's an enchantment though. And then I think when you can sacrifice it and give creatures haste, maybe?
I have no clue.
I think it's an Outlaws card.
Okay, yeah, I have no clue.
I was like, crap. I think I know the card because it's in the pre-con that I'm getting.
Okay.
Yeah, I was like, yeah.
So yeah, that's what I did for my card draws. I just found like every instance of, like, I even went all the way back to whatever Theros I want to say.
Theros Beyond.
No. Take a trip in the Wayback Machine.
Oh.
Theros.
Theros.
And like I picked up a copy of Wild Guess, and Wild Guess is like the original version of the 2 mana discard, draw 2, and what is it? It's sorcery speed. It's 2 red flat, and it's discard then draw 2. And most of the newer ones are going to draw 2 then discard.
Yeah.
Or draw then discard, which is
better options.
Technically a better effect because you don't throw away a good card and then draw 2 bad ones. You draw 2 bad ones and put 1 in the graveyard and save your good card. A potentially good card, future good card. I can't remember what is it? And this goes back to the whole treasure thing. So,
okay.
Right. What is it? Yeah. Pirate's Pillage, Big Score, Unexpected Windfall are all the same card, except like the mana symbols are a little bit different. And Pirate's Pillage is just a sorcery. Okay. The other 2 are instants. Seize the Spoils is a 3 mana variant, and you only get 1 treasure. That being said, all of them have an initial cost of 4.
Okay.
but they really only have a cost of 2 because you get 2 treasures.
Right.
Or in Seas of Spoils, you only get 1, so it's 3 mana, only costs 2 because you get a treasure right away. So you can do those. You can have those turns where you just have big plays, right?
Right.
Or multiple plays early on in the game, or it does ramp you, right, which is nice. Yeah.
I for a period of time, for the reason of card draw, actually, I was tempted for Izzet just because of the blue card draw, the cantrips. Maybe I need them. I need the blue card draw. It's like an addiction at this point.
Yeah.
It really is.
Me over here not playing green.
Yeah. It's
not having access to green in my deck feels awful.
Feels like, what am I doing? Why am I hurting myself?
What is it? Another card that, especially in red, that I might be slept on, because red is very heavy into gaining treasures, right? Treasure Cove.
Treasure Cove.
Treasure Cove is a 2-mana artifact that you tap 1, tap it, and then you scry 1. And then if you put a search counter on it, you put some dumb counter on it.
Okay.
And then if you get 3 counters on it, you transform it into Treasure Cove. You can tap it for any color mana, or you could tap it, sacrifice a treasure, draw a card.
That is what I'm talking about. Treasure Cove.
It's the front half is Treasure Map, and then it transforms into Treasure Cove.
Okay.
So that's, it's pulling kind of double duty here, because in the early game it's card selection, right? You cast it on turn 2. On your turn 3, you untap all of your permanents. So before your draw step, you have the ability to tap 1 and tap it and scry 1. I remember doing that a lot in Standard. I remember doing that on Magic Arena a few times when I played.
I just had to write that one down. I love that card. That sounds great. Oh man, I would love to copy burn spells. Copying in red.
Yeah, copying and red go hand in hand.
Yeah, I didn't look into it, but it's something I was like, oh, that would be great.
Yeah, it's very easy to copy spells, and then not only.
I thought that was more of an Izzet thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, but it's the red half of Izzet.
Oh, is it? Is it? God damn.
What is it? Yeah, it's another thing, because that's taking a ton of copy spells is also just a really good idea if you're playing, because then you get access to people's counter spells. I can't help but feel like it's the most BM thing imaginable, most bad manners thing imaginable. But you cast your removal spell and your opponent casts a counter spell on it, and then you cast a copy spell and copy their counter spell. You don't even copy your original spell. You just copy their counter spell to counter their counter spell.
Oh my gosh!
I can't imagine a more just absolutely heinous thing to do to someone. It's like, oh yeah, or someone casts their expropriate. Oh, council's, fucking taking extra turns the spell.
Oh. Somebody played that last Saturday.
Expropriate?
I think so. They took...
it's like a 7-mana Council's Dilemma. People pick time or money, and if you pick time, you get an extra turn. For everyone that picks time gets an extra turn. Everyone that picks money, you take a permanent from them.
Maddie was actually at the table. I was not. I didn't get to play with the guy.
Okay.
But I believe there was a guy who was taking extra turns at that table. Maybe not. But I thought.
And then they didn't win. And then of course they took like 6 extra turns in a row and didn't win the game.
No, actually, like,
oh my god, you
like had half his deck in his hand. I believe at one point, or like 90% of his deck. It was, but at that point when he had most of his deck in his hand, I think he was like 1 or 2 turns away from winning. And it's like at that point, what?
No, you absolutely wasted everyone's time. Go fucking die in a hole. I can't imagine being the guy that sits down at the table and is like, I'm gonna take 2 extra turns every single go around, and it's gonna take me still fucking 40 turns to win the game.
It could have just been like, I don't know, a Stitch in Time or something.
Yeah,
but if it really was that card, man,
I can't imagine putting every extra turn spell in the game in your deck and then still like not finding a way to win after you cast your like 7th extra turn spell. I'm just gonna take 7 turns in a row and not win the game.
I wonder if that would get you in trouble in any tournament. I mean, like, because I know that you have time-based actions to an extent. But you're doing stuff, right? As long as you're doing stuff.
That's the problem. It's not really a problem. It's just like, you take 7 extra turns and you take, 20 minutes, but you're constantly taking game actions, so you're not actually not doing anything. You're just being really fucking slow, or being really cumbersome. But yeah, what is it?
Artifact destruction's pretty prevalent in Red, I've seen. So I was like, maybe running a couple of those like things for the Immortal Sun or some of the nastier artifacts in there.
One of the cards that I kind of like really want to stick in my deck, not because it's like over the top good. It's like a 3/4 for 4.
Okay.
But Ingot Chewer. Ingot Chewer enters the battlefield and you destroy an artifact. Okay. But you can cast it for 1 red. You can evoke it for 1 red. And you cast it, and you put it into play, and then you sacrifice it immediately. But it hits the battlefield, its effect happens, and then it goes to the graveyard. So it's a late game body that's not too small, right? It blocks decently well into like weenies and dorks, whatnot. But it also just removes, like you said, an Immortal Sun or an Ensnaring Bridge.
Oh my god. Man, that was so good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What is it? I want to talk about my big dumb cards. That's
please. I don't have any quite yet.
One of the worries, right? Closing the game.
Yeah, for sure.
Playing mono red. I quite literally got on Scryfall, and I wanted big dumb creatures. I wanted like I don't want to win through casting instants and sorceries.
Okay.
I want to win off of the activated abilities and triggered abilities of
big dumb creatures.
Not even big dumb creatures, just activated abilities of and triggered abilities of creatures. So the first one that I have on my list is Emojin of Roaring Blades, because the card's just so dumb. It's a 7/5 that when you cast it, it gets an indestructibility counter.
Nice.
Right? And it's a 7/5 for 8, right? You cast it, it gains the indestructibility counter, and then at any point in time, as long as it has that counter on it, you can remove that counter and deal 7 damage to every player.
Oh, no.
So put my commander out on the board, remove that, deal 14 damage to every player. And then I still have that 7/5 body. It's still there. So it's board wipe insurance. You want to board wipe me? I'll let you. Right? You're going all the way. You want to exile my creature? You really want to exile my creature? All right, pipe bomb.
Yeah, pipe bomb. And then you probably already have Sulfim out.
Yeah.
So it's like that's 14.
Yeah, take 14. Take 14.
At that point, you might as well just take out the Sulfim first.
And then you're coming at me with your do you want to exile my Sulfim?
Yeah, and then you want that would be 14.
You want to take 14? And then I get a point at every other player at the table. It's like, you want to take 14?
You want to take 14?
See what he's doing to you. He's doing this. They're doing this.
Oh my gosh. Is Swords to Plowshare's creature specific?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dang. That's sad.
The other one, Magmatic Force, is another 8-mana card. 3 red, 5. At the beginning of each upkeep, I get a free lightning bolt.
No.
Oh yeah.
What?
Yep. Your upkeep, lightning bolt. Something.
What is that card again?
Magmatic Force. Lightning bolt. Lightning bolt. You want a lightning bolt? I have a lightning bolt. It's for you.
Wow.
Sulfim's out. 6 damage. Right.
Wow. That's dirty.
What is it?
Where do we trickle into the CEDH of the burn deck?
No, right? we're so far away.
I don't know competitive Magic that much, and I'm just like, I know those will probably turn into like those turn ones.
I don't think it's because I don't think competitive CEDH red in right. Yeah. Red itself, I don't think is a good enough color to stand on its own, other than like Godo combos. Godo, when it enters the battlefield, you tutor up an artifact.
Okay.
And then when Godo attacks, it's like I think it also has haste too. Whenever it attacks, you take an extra combat after this one.
Ooh.
So the only artifact in your deck, the only equipment is Helm of Dominance. When Helm of Dominance enters, when Helm of Dominance enters, you auto equip it. I want to say, or that's a Godo ability. Either way, Helm of Dominance. Whenever this creature attacks, create a copy of it. A non-legendary copy.
Ooh, legendary rule, baby.
Right. So what you do is you cast Go to attack. I think it's an on attack trigger with Go. Either way, you're able to attack with Godo with Helm of Dominance either found right away or equipped to it, and then Godo untaps, creates a copy of itself.
Then you have an extra combat.
And then because Helm of Dominance. Oh my god. Because I want to say, because Godo, like every extra attack, just staple onto something, like you can't make an extra, you can't do it again.
Oh, right.
So that's why it's important that it makes the copy, because the copy hasn't used the ability yet.
Yeah.
And I don't think it matters that the equipment is attached to it. So yeah, you attack with Godo once, you make another Godo, attack with both Godos,
okay.
Make 2 more Godos, attack with 4 Godos, make 4 more Godos.
You have infinite Godos.
You just have infinite Godos.
What?
And that's the only mono red CEDH deck that I know of.
I see why.
Yeah, because it's a 0 card combo. You like get to 4 mana, play your commander, win the game. It's awful. I don't know what their plan to win is after that.
It's worse than it's Krinko, but worse.
Yeah.
Duplicated.
Is the other one. One of my other big dumb cards is Jakku Seth, Maw of the Flame.
Oh, yep.
7 mana.
4/3/3.
Nope.
No, that's the
It's a big dragon. It's big dragon.
I know the card.
Yeah, I'm sure you do. When you attack with it, you deal 4 damage to one target and 3 damage to 2 others.
Yeah, 4/3/3.
Yep.
I see. That's
doubled. Of course.
8.
6/6. Of course.
Dang. That's nice. That's real nice.
Leyline Tyrant is another one. Leyline Tyrant's. It's very important that I remember this, so I'll find it before I try and speak to it.
I was running a Leyline of Lightning in the deck, and it's Brawl Stage.
Well, Leyline Tyrant is a creature. Right?
Oh, okay.
It has flying. It's a 4 mana 4/4 with flying. It's a dragon. You don't lose unspent red mana as steps in phases end. So at the end of whoever's next to me in the turn order, I just tap all my mana at the end of their turn, so I can pool it up. Pool it up. Then when Leyline Tyrant dies, you may pay any amount of red. When you do, it deals that much damage to any target. It's just a laser beam on a stick.
That is the biggest laser beam on a stick.
It's just, I'm going to pool up my mana. Hey, watch me pool up my mana.
And you only pull up the mana by untapping?
Nope. What is it?
Sorry.
I don't lose mana, unspent red mana, as steps and phases end.
So at the end step of the person next to you.
So say I hold up a removal spell.
Okay.
Right, and this is just a common thing, right?
Yeah.
I hold up a removal spell, and it gets to it gets back to my turn. I didn't cast that removal spell. I wasted my mana, right? Because I still have I have 4 open mana, right? So I wasted 4 mana because I didn't do anything with it. I had a creature I could have played. Mm-hmm. If I'd have played that creature, I'd have had the creature on the board, and no one would have did anything of value. Right. Leyline Tyrant says at the end. Right, person next to me, it comes back to my turn. I held up that removal spell. I held up all 4 of my mana, and no one cast anything. So guess what? I'm going to take that 4 mana, add it to my mana pool, and then it's going to come to my. It's going to come to
by tapping it.
Yep, I'm just going to tap it. Add it to my mana pool.
So you can do that with all your. So it's like a bootlegger stash, but where you can't lose the mana.
Yep.
So that's okay. Yeah. That's nice. I like that.
And then you go to kill my Leyline Tyrant.
Yeah. Then you can lightning bolt on stick.
So I'm gonna do that every turn. Leyline Titan or Tyrant's out, so 6 turns go by, and I just have it chilling, right? And for whatever reason, it's still just chilling, and people are like, "Hey, is anyone gonna deal with the 20 floating mana that Adam has? Oh, you want to kill my Leyline Tyrant? Oh, you want to cast a board wipe? It kills my Leyline Tyrant.
Oh my god!
I had 20 open mana,
and then Solve him.
Yeah. Hey, that's a lot. Let's end the game. Let's end the game.
Let's
do it. Figure it out.
Oh my.
Figure it out.
You're just a stick of dynamite in the chair.
Yep. Pipe bomb. And then the last big kind of game ender that I have is just Banefire. This is my one my one mulligan card. It's in here because it ends games, specifically for me, right? It's a sorcery. It's 1 in an X. Deals X damage to any target. X is, and this is the reason specifically that I picked Banefire over like a Conflagrate or like Crackle with Power is. I like Crackle with Power. It's 2 red and 3X, and then it deals 5 times X damage to X amount of targets.
Wow.
So 5 mana to deal 5 damage, but only 8 mana to deal 10 damage. Only 8 mana to deal 10. Right. And you're still kind of off a little bit there of your standard or your modern burn statistics but it's a lot of damage.
That's why I like Stone Splitter Bolt.
But Banefire says if X is 5 or more, this spell can't be countered.
Nice.
Fucking take it up the ass, blue players.
Now the question is, how many times will we get past that? Like how many times?
I only have the one, so it's what is?
How many times will it be uncounterable though?
More often than not. I can't imagine myself casting it not counterably, because the reason it's in the deck is
so it's your win con.
It's
a win con.
It is its primary purpose is to common magic notion. Player removal is better than creature removal, right? So if I have Solve him out and Maddie's over there with 40 billion tokens, and I'm just like staring at my hands, like how do I end Maddie because I can't kill all 40 billion of their tokens, and so just Banefire, hey,
yeah. So you can't take out the tokens, so let's see.
But then I just they cast like Teferi's Protection or something and get hexproof, and they're like total can't change.
I love that spell so much.
That's why I want one of the cards in here, Rampaging Ferocidon. Players can't gain life. I think I want to add. It's like Hurt and Harm. It's an Amonkhet card, and it's a split card. And what is it? The front half of it, the important half of it, players can't gain life this turn, and damage can't be prevented. That's one of those. I want damage can't be prevented on a stick, right? I want it on an enchantment or a creature or something. I just haven't looked hard enough for it because I'm guessing it's out there.
So if that was out on the battlefield before Teferi's Protection, does that mean that it would override that? Or if you're out of the game,
and so if it's something that's a state-based effect, or it's a static ability, I'm pretty sure it counters Teferi's Protection. Where it gets awkward is if I cast the card. So because this is where we get into like layers and stuff and how it works. Layers are a nightmare. I don't even want to start it's a part of Magic. I don't even want to touch.
Layers. Oh, like the mechanic or
no layers, layering effects.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't know much about that.
It gets weird with like Blood Moon shenanigans because, God, not to get off on too much of a tangent, but there are instances where Blood Moon, right, turns all non-basic lands to mountains, right? So, what is it? there are ways for you to retain the effects of non-basic lands while Blood Moon is out. There are specific instances where you have a non-basic land that does something. I want to say this is true. But someone casts a Blood Moon, turns it into a mountain, but because of how it happens, you still retained the effect.
Okay. But it just turns the tide.
Yeah, it turns it into a mountain or whatever.
Interesting.
What were we talking about?
Not talking about layering.
I don't even know.
Big creatures.
Yeah. I could check the recording and see what we were actually talking about like 2 minutes ago.
Yeah.
I'm not going to.
Yeah.
But yeah, layering's a nightmare.
I believe it. I quite literally last Saturday learned about holding priority.
Yeah.
And then when I learned about it in that game, Supreme Verdict to Fairy's Protection.
Yeah.
I was like, that.
Oh. That. You said it. So if I cast my damage can't be prevented spell.
Yeah.
Right, that goes on the stack, that hits, that resolves, and then you cast a Fairy's Protection. Mm-hmm. I want to say, since your Teferi's Protection happened more recently, it takes priority. Right? There might be something to do with the fact that it says damage can't be prevented this turn.
That
right? I'm a little wishy-washy on this. So when it eventually happens in game, we'll have to look up the ruling to see what actually happens. But yeah, I hate life gain in my nothing like playing group slug and I already have to do 120 points of damage, and then I got the mono white player over there gaining like 10 life per turn. It's like, go.
Dude, so you're doing non-exclusive blood all day.
Yeah, well. Yeah, nothing like having to do an extra 200 points of damage to my mono white friend because they just wanted to play that game today.
Life is just a way to stall the game.
No, yeah.
If you really wanted to look at it that way, a life could be just a way to stall it.
Yeah. I get where you're coming from there.
You just gain enough life, but that's not a win con.
Oh. And then, there are win cons that are tied to having a ton of life.
Oh, yeah?
Right? Like Felidar Sovereign, I want to say as long as you have 40 or more life at the start of your upkeep, you win the game.
Huh.
So there is a way to just like win the game off of that. But if you're like if you're gaining life and that's all you're doing, hit the road.
Hit the road, Jack.
You could be playing stacks and we could all not be having fun.
I heard about stacks though.
Stacks is in relation to the card Smokestack. It's not even used anymore. But Smokestack says at the beginning of your upkeep, put it's like a smoke counter on Smokestacks and then sacrifice that many permanents. Everyone does that.
Yikes.
Right? Everyone does that on... You don't put the counters on every upkeep, but on every upkeep, the effect triggers. It might be every upkeep that you put a counter on it and you do the effect. So it very quickly is just like removes everything from the game unless you sacrifice it. That's part of your original sacrifice, right?
I see.
And I want to say it does every turn put a counter on it, and then you have to sacrifice that many permanents. Because I want to say the Smokestacks player, immediately the opponent has to sacrifice the thing, and then they have to sacrifice two things.
See, we all hate on the blue players until we need that counter spell.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just play red and remove it.
Yeah. And then that spell that you're removing, with the removal spell you're casting, can't be countered.
Yeah.
Because red.
Because red.
I love red. Red's fun.
It's very aggressive.
Someone said it sprints.
Yeah. Yeah. The other one in here, Heartless Hidetsugu. It's a card.
It's a card?
Tap it. Each target opponent loses life, or loses half their life, or takes damage. I want to say the specific word because this is why it works. Heartless Hidetsugu deals half your opponent's life total to them, rounded down. So as long as they're on an even life total, you just tap it and kill your opponent if Soul Film's out. Because it deals half and then you double it.
And then Torbran said, +2.
+2.
+2. Dude, I just... to get off a little bit of a topic...
God, I love Sorry, I just love...
I was going to talk about
Torbran, just like in the corner, like, +2. He's just like a hype... He's in the corners like, +2.
And it's so funny because he's in the back, but he's the shortest one.
Yeah, he's just like standing in the back. You know, he's fucking down there. You know, Dracustat's like flying over. Motion of Infinite Rage like rah, fucking swords out. With a magmatic force, just like a moving, roiling volcano. And there's Torbran in the back. He's like +2, +2, +2,
+2 all day.
+2 all day.
Oh my gosh. I found Torbran and do you remember the fairy's name, Maddie? There's a fairy. It's a Torbran and something. It's an
Rankle?
Torbran and Rankle.
Okay.
Rankle, like the trickery or something like that. I don't know Rankle that much. A fairy and a dwarf combo. Never saw it coming.
Yeah.
It's Rakdos.
Yeah, Smackdos.
Smackdos.
Is this out there? Is this chilling?
It's like create treasures, draw a card, and sacrifice things.
Okay.
So I'm not sure where that goes, but I know it's like treasures probably.
Yeah.
And like what? I don't know. What do you do with treasures if you're treasure deck?
Gain. You play treasure map and draw cards.
Oh, okay.
No, you just
try to figure out what you want to do with all those treasures.
You just play big dumb stuff.
Gotcha.
Right.
But then, like, to me, that just leads to dragons. Because red.
Demons, dragons.
Yeah, Rakdos. That's right, demons, dragons. But then I want to play demons, dragons, and
Angels? Are you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
What is it?
Whenever you hit someone, you go
Kalia.
Yep.
Kalia. Actually, I gave everybody not Kalia. Yeah, I think everybody. I gave everybody a locust god last Saturday, and I also made everybody's permanents indestructible. Yeah. So we were all just in purgatory, sitting there.
This will be the last. We've been going for a while. Yeah. So we'll pack it in here soon. This will be the last thing. This is the best Kalia the Vast deck I ever heard. Because when you play Kalia, everyone removes like Kalia's a cruiser. Like you kill Kalia immediately, right? Because you're just gonna like cheat in like Phyllis and 2-drop dumb shit, or you're gonna cheat in Grizzlebrand. Grizzlebrand's not even legal, but so this person they put Kalia the Vast in the command zone. And then just never played it, and everyone was like, everyone just held up all of their shit for him because they were all just worried about Kalia hitting the board and needing an answer for it.
Wow.
So that deck only works against people that don't know, right?
Yeah.
And I would imagine they put like dragons and angels and demons in the deck, but they never played Kalia, and they just played out everything normally.
Yeah.
And so everyone held their removal up for Kalia.
You gotta be paying attention to the big creatures.
Oh my god, you got the big brain.
He said, "This is the biggest bluff card ever."
Yeah, I was playing Kalia. You guys see it there? It's just gonna stay there.
Kalia is great. Too great.
My Marduk commander has already been selected, though.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do the humans. Caesar.
Ooh.
Legion's Emperor.
Man, what is it? Marduk's so fun.
Yeah.
Man, we gotta talk more off camera about other decks I want to make.
All right. Close us out, Nathan. You do it.
If you want to ask us any questions, have any comments or concerns, hit us up at evrtybagel at gmail.com. We'll probably talk about that comment, question, or concern on the podcast first. Yep. So, submit.
Yeah.
And with that being said,
we don't have a topic for next week.
We don't really have a topic for next week.
So we'll figure it out when we get there.
Yeah.
All right. Fucking
have a good evening.
Yeah. Oh,
good afternoon.
Yeah. Have a good morning. Good afternoon. Good evening. Wherever you are. Don't forget. Try everything.
Try everything.